Jack and his mother lived in crushing agricultural poverty. Their fields were cracked from drought, their chickens stopped laying eggs, and their only asset was an old cow. This misery compounded an older trauma. Years earlier, on a dark, stormy night, Jack's father vanished into the mist, abandoning his family to chase a map that promised giant beanstalks filled with gold. Before the father left, a mysterious cloaked stranger delivered a stern warning. He told the man that money earned without hard work always brings ruin, and that he should take the seeds provided and actually grow them. The father ignored the advice, walked out the door, and never returned. Years later, Jack repeats his father's mistake. With his family starving, Jack is sent to market to sell their final productive asset, the cow. Instead of securing a sustainable trade, he gives the cow away to an old man in exchange for 5 shiny beans, buying into a promise of instant magical riches. Jack's trade repeats the logic he found inside his father's dusty chest. By following the map's promise of gold-filled stalks instead of his mother's warnings, he treats his father's obsession with a shortcut as a viable survival strategy. The shortcut appears successful at first. A giant beanstalk grows overnight, reaching above the clouds. Jack climbs it, sneaks into a towering mansion, and slips out with a heavy pouch of the giant's gold. For a brief moment, the small hut below fills with golden light. This chart plots wealth over time to illustrate the economic trap Jack has entered. While his net worth spikes instantly with the stolen gold, the capital drains back to zero because the money is a finite resource untethered from labor or production. The gold runs out, leaving Jack exactly as hungry as he started. This financial vacuum forces Jack into a cycle of escalating risks. Desperate to maintain his mother's approval and their new lifestyle, he climbs the stalk again and again. He steals a chicken that lays golden eggs, and eventually a magical harp that plays by itself. The shortcut of stolen wealth provides no actual security. It creates a dependency on an external source Jack cannot control. He hasn't solved the problem of poverty. He has only developed an addiction to easy fixes. That addiction hits a wall when the magic harp cries out, waking its owner. Jack grabs the treasure and sprints for the beanstalk, the giant in pursuit. The stones of the corridor shake with every crashing step as the giant threatens to hurl Jack from the clouds. Jack reaches the ground and grabs an axe, screaming for his mother to help him chop down the stalk. In a typical fairy tale, this ends with the giant's death. But here, the mother refuses to use the axe. She commands Jack to stop, demanding the giant leave her son alone while preventing the violence Jack intended. Deprived of a chase, the tension shifts. The giant's anger fades into a weary calm. Holding tightly onto the beanstalk with his massive hands, he climbs all the way down to the dirt. The physical thriller is over, replaced by an unavoidable confrontation. By refusing to destroy the stalk, the mother forces Jack to look his victim in the eye. The anonymity of the theft is gone, and Jack has to answer for the items he took from the mansion. The giant presents physical proof that his wealth was never a cheat code. He holds out his massive hands, revealing skin covered in thick calluses, packed dirt, and deep scars earned from years of physical toil. The giant explains that his castle wasn't conjured through magic. As a young man, he woke at first light to carry heavy stones on his shoulders, building his mansion block by block, working through the pouring rain, the freezing winter snow, and the blistering summer heat. Even the magical items were the result of slow, meticulous effort. The giant carved the harp with his own hands, and its voice was a reward for his craftsmanship. He found the chicken as a tiny chick and raised it for years before it ever produced gold. As the giant describes the decades spent building his home and carving the harp, Jack's pride vanishes. He sees himself as an intruder who mistook a lifetime of effort for a free lunch. Wealth is the stored value of the time and physical exertion required to create it. Jack finally sees that the treasures he lusted after were built, not magically granted, ending his belief in the shortcut. Overcome with shame, Jack attempts to make things right. He apologizes to the giant and voluntarily places the golden egg chicken and the magical harp on the ground, returning them to their rightful owner. Recognizing Jack's change of heart, The giant offers one final gift. It isn't gold. He places a small pouch in Jack's hand, containing ordinary, non-magical seeds. This chart shows the structural difference between the two seeds. The magic beans on the left promised an instant windfall that inevitably led to poverty. The normal seeds on the right require cyclical labor and patience, creating a loop leading to sustainable prosperity. Jack accepts the seeds. He understands that breaking his family's cycle of poverty requires him to embrace the daily effort of the farm, trading the speed of a shortcut for the security of hard work. Jack puts this new perspective into action immediately. He tills the cracked dirt of his farm, plants the ordinary seeds, and waits. He endures the slow passage of time and the weather, refusing to give up even when the ground remains bare for weeks. Finally, a single bright green sprout bursts through the dark dirt. Jack carefully kneels down to touch it, recognizing that this plant is the direct, earned reward for his own dedication. High above, the silhouette of a giant hawk circles the clouds before gliding away. It is a quiet acknowledgement of Jack's path, marking his final, definitive separation from his father's obsession with unearned riches. Jack's future is no longer anchored to a beanstalk in the sky. It is tied to the soil he tilled himself, where prosperity is a result of patience rather than a stroke of magic.